This meeting is being
Nice.
recorded.
Okay. No turning back now. So it's watching everybody. Okay. Do me a favor. We're at 1 o'clock, at least 1 o'clock Pacific. I always like to just figure out where everyone's here from. So just let me know in the chat where you guys are calling in from. I seem to have a lot of people who join my stuff from Australia, New Zealand for whatever reason. But yeah, I'd love to hear where everyone's from. Got John in the house. Yeah, baby. We're neighbors. Oh, yep. I forgot about that. Charlie. Florida, Nashville. Sweet. From England. Vancouver, BC. I'm not too far from there. I've been to Vancouver like 4 or 5 times this year. It's pretty cool. They have awesome food. No camera this morning. All good. So I'll just let you guys know how this is gonna go, and then we'll just dive right into it. So this is like a bonus call that I added to this. I've been working on the curriculum. I just finished the actual like recording. I'm wearing like the same clothes, so you'll see in the recording that I look exactly the same. But you guys are going to get a pre-recorded version of this training, as well as like the resources, like the links to all the docs. So like anyone who's going to ask, yes, you're going to get a recording, and you're going to get links to like the assets that I cover. So we're going to go over that. I'm just going to go over it live with you guys because I think that'll help. And then at the end, we have 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. And so it'll probably take like 45 minutes or so to go through the core training. And then after that, we'll just do some workshopping and then Q&A. So like if anyone has questions throughout, I'll probably open it up for questions. You guys can just pop it into the chat in the meantime. And then at the end, I'll just go through it. And if I need context, I'll like ask you guys. But yeah, if you have questions throughout as I go through it, just ask in the chat and then I can address those at the end. We'll have a bunch of time. Cool. Sound good? Nice. All right, give me a second here. Get my screens popped up. Yep. Okay. So, how many of you have been through something of mine before? Give me a one. Like any product, program, anything.
Too many.
Okay. All right, so you guys know my style, right? Like, not pretty, but the content fucks, right? It's good stuff, right? I just give you utility. So with all my stuff, there's two goals. There's utility, which means you can use it and use it quickly. So I want you to be able to just walk away from this and be able to use it immediately. So if you're expecting like some like long, Netflix style training, this is not it. It's just like, you guys came here for this, you're going to get that. It's going to be useful. The second thing is simplicity. So I do everything on like docs. I'd rather just show you examples as well. So instead of just trying to explain things, I'll just show you an example too. So usually the way I do it is I'll go over some like theory first, and then I'll go into like some live applications of it and some examples. So we're going to go through this. It's the core training, and you will get this. There's some links to some assets. I know a lot of you joined, so you can get like the Google Doc sales pages. So you will get that, and you'll get the recording as well. So you don't have to, worry about like taking notes and all that. Fathom also has like a transcription note taker, like summary thing, and it timestamps it. So that's pretty awesome. You'll probably have that as well. So yeah, let's dive in. The training, this is 1 hour offers. I have a few of my mastermind clients here in the Email Rainmaker Mastermind. I'll tell you guys how that works at the end. And this is one of the trainings that's going to be done like in the mastermind is what we're talking about, offers and foundations right now. So what is covered in this training is, first I'll talk about why offers are important and why I think it's probably the most important skill. Then offer elements. So what goes into assembling an offer. Then the gimme scale. So the gimme scale is like, how do you get your market and audience to say like, give me that, right? Create offers that people want basically. Then we're going to go into the difference between selling information versus transformation. And this is a big one. I see a big mistake people make all the time when they try to sell like a transformation offer with info messaging. So we'll talk about that. I'm also going to walk you through like step-by-step offer validation and launching. And that's basically my process for getting paid before creating the product. I'm going to show you Godfather offers. So like there's one question that I always ask myself, especially when I'm creating a high ticket offer, to make sure it's a banger offer and I'm targeting the right person. And then we'll go over some deadly offer mistakes. So if your offer is flopping, or if you have an existing offer and it's not hitting the way you want it to, like how do you make it better? And like, can you pinpoint the mistakes that are happening? And I'll give you solutions to those as well so you can fix it. Okay. So that's what we'll cover. And we're going to do it in one shot. So I'm just going to go through the entire thing. So let's jump right in. So why is this important? Why is it important to learn this skill and to learn about offers? Well, nothing begins until you make an offer, right? Nothing begins until you make an offer and someone accepts your offer. Like you can build the best product, you can build the best team and operations or whatever, right? And software companies, they do all that before they make the offer, which is the funny thing. So nothing happens until you make the offer and someone accepts your offer. This is $100,000 plus an hour skill. And like, that's not an exaggeration. Okay. So I have offers that took a few hours to put together, and I'll put it together on a Google Doc, and you're going to see some of those offers today that have gone on to do high 6 to 7 figures that took a few hours to put together. And so this is $100,000 plus an hour skill. And if you have an offer that's converting, you can use marketing and sales and all the fancy stuff to scale it, right? But nothing begins until you make an offer and someone accepts. So you can use this all types of ways. I even use my offer skills outside of business, right? When I'm trying to convince my wife to try out like a new restaurant or something, that's an offer, right? So I've used this skill to create my own offers, obviously. I've used it on client offers. I've sold in countless different markets and different product and service types. So if you're sitting on the call now and you're like, well, what if this is like an e-com product? It doesn't matter, right? You're still selling something to somebody who can read. So this is going to work regardless of your market or your product type. And the reason this is called 1 hour offers is because I don't want you to just be able to create offers. I want you to be able to do it fast. So the faster you can create banger offers and put it together, the faster you're able to make big money. Also, when your offer skills improve, all of your other skills improve. So your sales skills improve, your marketing, your thinking gets better, because then you start to think about all these elements and things we're talking about today when you're doing your marketing, your sales, and your offer creation. Your copywriting gets better and your communication gets better. Everything drastically gets better when you improve your offer skills. So that also means you're going to make a whole lot more money a lot faster, because you can put these offers together. And I'm sure some of you have seen my stuff. I've actually gotten comments on this. Like, you look at my stuff and you're like, dude, you create so many freaking offers. And yeah, I do, right? Like, because every time I create an offer, I make money, right? But the reason I'm able to do that is because I have this skill. I can spin off different offers very quickly and put it out there and start getting validation and sales quickly. So my goal with this training is to help you develop this skill in the fastest and easiest way possible. So relatively, this training is going to be pretty short, but that's the point, right? 1 hour offers. It would be kind of weird if it was a 1 hour offers training and it was like a 10-hour training. So this isn't a Netflix show. I'm going to give you what you need to create banger offers. And remember, utility, simplicity. I want you to go and do something, and you can just let me know that you made a bunch of money, and I can feature you in my email list and be like, this guy kicked ass, or a girl. So let's get started. First, the offer elements. And these are just the things that I think about. I have a tool at the end, or not a tool, but like a list that you can use to assemble your offer. So it's going to feel like I'm racing through this, but at the end, it'll make sense. So the first element is the person or the niche. This is the who it's for. And you start with this because you can't really create the best product unless you know who it's for, or the best offer, right? A lot of people try to start with the product first, and then they try to like fit a square peg into a round hole by like then finding the person, like, who's going to buy this now, right? Start with the person. Okay. So another way to think of a niche is just like, what's a group of people, like, what do they call themselves? So I work with a lot of you here, like online coaches or consultants or I'm a course creator or like content creator, influencer. So it's what they call themselves. That's the niche or the person. Now, what I recommend when you're creating offers, especially if you're like new, and I recommend if you're newer and you have some skills and you're trying to craft an offer, start at the high end of the market. So sell to people with money. And this is regardless of if you're targeting a business niche or not. Sell to people with money because it's easier to help them get a win. Now, if you sell to PWMs or there's people with money, sorry, people are trying to join the call now. Guys, I'm recording this. I see some Fathom note takers trying to join, so I'll record this. I just don't want like a bunch of different recorders in here. So don't worry, I'll send this out. So PWMs, you need less clients and you can charge more. So less clients and you can charge more. If you're trying to make 100,000, for example, and you can craft a really good offer for 10K and get 10 people, now you're at 100,000, right? Versus creating like some $10 product, you need a lot more, maybe thousands of customers. So, I mean, unless you already have a big audience, which I'm guessing a lot of you don't, I would start with the high end and sell to people with money. It's easier to help them. And ask me how I know, right? I've worked with like really early on people. So PWMs, they get results faster, which means you can invite them to your next offer faster. In order to get someone to buy the next offer, they need to get a win with the first offer, right? So if you work with like the earlier stage people, like the beginners and the people who have no money, like you're going to deal with mindset issues and people dealing with financial stress and people dealing with all kinds of like external stressors that take them away from implementing, getting the result. And my business is built on getting someone a result and helping them, right? Actually helping them. And they naturally want to work with me on the next thing because I help them with the first thing. So when it comes to person, this is just my like advice, just from what I've done and seen, because I've worked with both markets. And then you can always just sell like offers to the lower end, to the non-PWMs who are earlier on. You can sell like things that don't require as much of your time, right? So you can sell like a digital product like this or a recording of you working with higher level people. So that's the first thing, is the person or the niche. Who is it for? And if you're asking me like, what's the best niche to target? Well, it's people with money, because there's a lot less you have to deal with in terms of getting a result and selling to them as well. The next thing is the plan. So the plan is, what are you helping them do? I always ask myself and clients this question. We're crafting the offer. What are you getting done together? Okay, it's not, and the answer to this is not, oh, you're going to sit in a course, and you're going to watch 10 videos, and you're going to fill out these worksheets. Like, that's a terrible offer, but that's what a lot of people do, because no one actually sits around at home wanting to go through a course. They want what it leads to. So you need to be very clear about the plan. And the way you do that is you isolate the specific problem you're helping to solve. Letting some people in. And also what you're helping them to achieve. And an easier way to think about it is like taking what is the plan? Like, where are they now, their current situation? Where do they want or desire to be? And what is your plan to help them go from current to desired? That's the plan, right? Current, here's the current situation, the problem. Here's where they want to be, what they want to achieve, what they desire. And here's the plan to help them get there, that I'm going to help them get there with. You want the plan to be easy to understand. And the way you do that is you just make it, you use contrast and you make it stand out, make it a little different. So one of my marketing mentors, Travis Sago, some of you might know him on this call. He always says the old plan versus the new plan. The old plan versus the new plan. So if you think about what your market is doing, the person, right? You got your person. Here's what I can help with, right? The thing I want to help with. Here's the old plan, how they're trying to solve that thing, that problem. And here's my new plan for them. So like right now, I'm wearing a black shirt right under this jacket. It's pretty cold in Seattle right now, so I'm wearing a jacket. So I'm wearing a black shirt, right? If I go to a store, let's say I go to Nordstrom, and the sales rep holds up 2 white shirts. She's like, hey, which one do you want? I'm like, I don't really know shirt brands that well, other than the ones that I buy, right? I buy like mostly like Lululemon shirts, so I don't really go and look at a bunch of different brands. She holds up 2 white shirts. She's like, which one do you want? I'm like, I don't really know, and they're both white shirts. Give me the one that's cheaper, right? However, if I went to the store, if I went to Nordstrom and she held up a black shirt next to a white shirt, And it's like, hey, this white shirt, you know, you might get spaghetti sauce on it, you might get it stained, you might spill some coffee. So this black shirt is actually a better one for you. It also makes you look slimmer, right? So there's contrast. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a 1 if it does, because this is huge, the contrast. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be number 1. I mean, you could be, but if you can just figure out how to use contrast, that is huge. Okay, the white shirt versus the black shirt. Remember this. There's one thing you take away from this, like that should be one of them. The old plan is the white shirt, right? Oh, it's all stained. It's got coffee on it. It's got spaghetti on it. The new plan is wear this black shirt anywhere. It's indestructible. It's going to make you slimmer. You're not going to get stains on it. You can spill whatever you want. It's not going to show because it's black. That's a pretty good plan, right? So that's what I mean. The old plan versus the new plan. So hope that makes sense, because this is big. This is what people get wrong, is they don't use contrast, and they think that they have to make bigger claims instead. If I just make a bigger promise, people are going to want my offer. That's not true, right? So when it comes to your plan as well, think smaller and doable. Don't overpromise. Don't overpromise. And don't try to solve everything in one offer. Okay, because you can't do that. Like, you can't solve everybody's problem in one offer. You can always create another offer for the next thing. So here's one other thing I'll say on this that's not in here. Every good offer solves a problem and creates 10 new problems. So we'll just use this, my iPhone, for example. This solves my problem. Now I can text, I can go on the internet on my phone, I can call. Well, now I have 10 new problems. How do I listen to Spotify? I need AirPods, right? How do I connect to my computer? I want to send my pictures there. Well, I need, like, I don't know, Bluetooth something, right? How do I get like songs, like songs that are subscriptions, right? Apple TV, right? I got to pay for that, right? So there's always new problems that come up whenever you solve one problem. So that's why I'm always creating new offers, because there's new problems to solve. Don't try to solve everything in one offer. Have a plan for each of your offers. Current, desired. What's your plan to help them go from current to desired? And remember, the old plan versus the new plan, using contrast. Okay, price. Price is, are they receiving? Think of it in terms of value. When people ask me, like, hey, what should I price this? It's like, I don't know. What is the value? What's the value of them getting the outcome of your offer? Then you can price it. And what I like to do is price 2 to 10x the value of the lifetime of them using it. Now, how do you measure value? Well, in terms of like ROI, well, there's money. That's like the easiest thing, right? So if someone gives you $1 and you give them 2 back, it's like, well, yeah, you're a money printer. I'm just going to keep giving you money. But the other ways of delivering value, there's health and attractiveness. If you can help somebody feel healthier, like, I mean, even save their life, that's worth a lot of money, right? If you can help them look more attractive, look, shredded or lose fat or whatever, that's worth a lot, right? Relationships and mating opportunities. I have a lot of clients in the relationship space. So like people who help to stop the divorce or save marriages or get dates on Tinder or just get dates and girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever in general. Like, that's worth a lot as well, right? What is a mate worth? A soulmate. So think of it in terms of that. It's not as easy to like quantify the value here, but just think, what is it worth to get the thing that you're helping them get? Okay. So ROI, like I never think about price until I think about value first. They must be getting more in value than they paid. Like, that's my rule. I don't want to give them equal amount. I don't want to give them less, even though a lot of people do that. They give less than what they paid for in value. They must be getting more in value than what they paid you if you want it to be like an easy yes offer. Okay. Another thing that I learned from Travis is financing and the importance of making it easy to say yes on the first purchase. Something that I found is if someone buys from me 3 times, like, they'll buy everything I put out. Because first of all, I believe in my stuff and I make my products high quality. But also, once they say yes, it's easy to say yes the first time. They become a customer. And once they buy 3 times, they're like usually working with me a lot closer. So they become a client. So I want to make it easy to say yes on that first time, especially on that first time. And so you can use financing with your pricing. But you got to be clear about the financing. And it's not like, you say it's not membership. It's a way to finance it. So people are used to financing, right? When they buy a house, when they buy a cell phone, when they buy a car, when they buy, like, I mean, even like Netflix subscriptions, like they pay on a monthly basis and they pay it off like in little chunks, right? So you could do that. You can self-finance. You can become the bank. So instead of charging somebody, let's say, $2,000 one time, you can say, okay, just pay $250 today, and then it's 10 more payments of $250, right? $250 today is a lot easier, even though they're paying more over the lifetime with interest. Is a lot easier to say yes to today than $2,000 upfront, right? And like the numbers, I work with a lot bigger ticket items, so I mean it gets even higher than that. So this becomes more important the higher up in price you go. But making it easy to say yes, financing it so they can split the payments over a longer time period, that will make it easier and increase your conversion to get more people to say yes. Now, the price, again, 2 to 10x the value. The higher the price, the less of a multiple you need. So like, let's say that you're helping, and this is just like pulled out of thin air, by the way. Okay, it's just an example. Let's say that you're helping somebody make $1 million. You don't need to price, you don't need to help them make $10 million, right? To have it 10x the value, right? Even if it's 2x, right? If they pay you $1 million and you make them 2 million, that's an amazing deal, right? They'll do that all day, every day, right? You'd probably be a billionaire if you could do that. Just like snap your fingers and like double somebody's million. But yeah, 2 to 10x the value. The higher the price goes, the less multiple you need. But another important thing here is in your messaging and in your offer, you need to justify the value and believe in it. Believe in it. Have conviction. People can feel your confidence or lack of it. So like I used to do a lot of sales calls, and I would notice like when I'm on sales calls, if my voice would like waver or crack, or I sounded like meek or something, people could feel that, and they wouldn't close. They wouldn't buy. Okay. Like they can feel that, the lack of confidence, or they can feel if you have a lot of confidence and conviction in what you're offering. So whatever your price is, remember the value first, justify the value and believe in it. Okay. Proof. This is another one. This is something that a lot of people miss. Can you prove your offer claim is true? Yeah, I call this just trust me, bro marketing. Like I get probably 50 cold messages every day, if not more. And all of them, most of them are using just trust me, bro marketing. So hey, I can pack your calendar with 10,000 appointments. Like, first of all, I don't want 10,000 appointments on my calendar. I like a clear calendar. And second of all, like, where is the proof? Show me where you've done that. Or like people always ask me like, hey, I'll help you grow your Twitter following or your YouTube following to 100,000 subscribers. I'm like, cool, man. Like, show me, where's your 100,000 subscribers? Crickets, right? and then they wonder why no one responds. So like, whatever you say, like, think about this in terms of like, you're in a court of law and you're a prosecutor or you're a lawyer, right? And you're standing in front of a jury and you're like, oh, this person, he's guilty of murder, right? He killed so-and-so. What's the jury going to say? Okay, where's the proof? Show us the proof. Where is it? So you need to provide proof, right? Like if you make a claim, you got to back it up somehow. So testimonials, third-party reviews. This is things like Amazon, right? If someone leaves a review on Amazon, like I use Amazon reviews to make purchasing decisions on like supplements and stuff like that. Case studies where you're breaking down the client's story of like the before and after and what they did and everything that went into getting the result. These are examples of proof. You can also borrow proof if you don't have proof yet. It's not nearly as strong, but you can borrow proof from high status places, right? Like, scientific studies and stuff like that. But ideally, you're taking proof from your own stuff or work that you've done with clients. So this can be personal, but ideally you have you're stacking customer and client proof over time, and you're using that. Anyone with a mouth can make a claim. It's BS without proof, right? Anyone can say anything they want, right? In America, we got freedom of speech or whatever. So you can make any kind of claim you want. But if you don't back it up, it's just like, well, I don't believe you, right? So proof, this is important. Next thing is incentive. Why they should buy now. So people don't act, they don't move until they have a deadline or they have a reason to act. And you need to build this into your offer. Like I know with evergreen offers, it's more difficult. And so what I do with evergreen offers is I bolt on bonuses. So this is going to be an evergreen product, right? The recording of this training is going to be an evergreen product. Let's say I want to create a promotion around it. I could bonus in like an extra Zoom call, right? A live Zoom call where we workshop some offers together, right? I'm not going to do this, but I could bonus in like a one-on-one offer clarity call where I help you get clear on your offer, like just one of your offers. We spend one-on-one 30 minutes on a call and putting it together, right? So you can bonus in offers or add bonuses to an existing offer to make it better and give people a reason to act, right? Hey, if you sign up in the next 3 days or 7 days or whatever, I'm gonna give you this extra bonus. So I do this a lot, especially with evergreen offers. For new offers, I'll use scarcity and urgency. So like founders pricing is one I currently use. So I just launched my email rainmaker mastermind, and we have 20 spots at the founders pricing, and we have I think 18 people in right now. So I have 2 or 3 spots left at the current founders pricing, and then pricing goes up, right? So that's like scarcity or urgency. It gives people a reason to act now. They want to get the best price. Limited spots. So if you're doing like a, I don't know, in-person event or something, or even a virtual workshop and you only want a certain amount of people there, that could be an example of scarcity and urgency. If you're doing like a cohort-based thing, like a live Zoom workshop, I know a few of you have joined my Zoom workshops before. There's a live start and end date, right? And that's natural, like scarcity and urgency, because people want to join the call and they want to be there live to ask questions and engage. So got to give people an incentive. This has literally doubled my sales in some cases where I just added something to an existing offer and like doubled it from the last time I promoted it, just from adding something like a reason to act now. So this is huge. This is human nature. Like in college, I would always wait like 3 months to study for an exam until the last night, then pound a bunch of coffee and take a bunch of Adderall and like stay up all night. Like it's not good, right? But that's how we are. That's how humans are. They procrastinate to the last minute. So you got to like move people to act. Risk reversal. So this is how you take away the risk of buying. Whenever someone sees your offer and they see a price, the first thought that comes to their mind, especially if they don't know you, is like, well, how do I know this is going to work for me? Like, what if it doesn't work for me? What do I do then? Right? So I like to have a risk reversal, but I do it in a way where I'm not opening the door to bad customers. Okay. Like I don't want to just open the door where I'm like, hey, anybody can get a refund whenever they want, like no matter what. No, because that like, just brings in like serial refunders. People just steal all my shit and they pirate it everywhere, right? So I want to prevent that. I'll offer risk reversal, but I'll do it in a way without opening the door to bad customers. So the best way is probably revenue share. So I have an entire business I did this for about a year and a half, 2 years. So this is a revenue share offer, performance-based offer. So I only get paid off of the sales that I generate for them. And I was getting 25 to 30%. So that's an example of revenue share. This is the lowest risk because they're not paying you anything unless you get a result. Then they pay you out of those profits, right? Or those revenues. So this could be more for like a done for you service where you offer like a performance-based deal. There's also like high ticket closers, right? Salespeople on the phone. They only get paid in many cases on like commission only, right? Commission only sales reps. That's a revenue share type of thing. So this is more for like done for you services or one-on-one services. The next thing is action-based guarantees. This is for higher ticket. So an action-based guarantee is something like, where is it? Let me bring this up. Is something like, no, it's not here. Here we go. Something like this. Is there a guarantee, right? There's an action-based guarantee. So it's focused on getting them to actually take action, right? I'll work with you until you've at least made your investment back, no matter how long it takes, as long as you're actually taking action on each step in the course. In other words, you can't not take any action and come back 1 to 2 years from now and ask me to work with you. But you come in and you do the work, you engage in the calls, and if we don't at least recoup your investment, I'm happy to help you dial in any areas, whatever it takes to get you going. And then you have the skill and ability to create cash flow, whatever the concept of the offer is. Okay, so this is an action-based guarantee. It's not like, hey, come in anytime you want. Like, my doors are open for you. You can ask for a refund, even if you've been through everything and I've spent some time with you. No, right? I'm committed to helping you get the result that you signed up for. So if you're ready to make moves, I'm happy to work with you. I'm not going to just like tolerate you coming in and like, taking my stuff and like going through it and just like meandering and asking for a refund just because you don't feel like doing it, right? So does that affect my conversions? Probably, but I only want people who are committed anyway. And my refund rate's like non-existent because of it. So that's something you can use for like higher ticket, like group programs or masterminds or anything like that, right? Cohort-based courses. Money back guarantee. So this for a lower ticket, and lower tickets, I don't know, let's just say $500 or less. Okay. Money back guarantee. I still have language in there where it's like, hey, go out and do this thing first. And if you can show me you did it, I'm going to give you all your money back. Right. It's less rigid versus the one I just showed you. Now, the key here is this. Do not lead with your guarantee. How many of you, give me a 2 in the chat. How many of you have seen those ads where it's like, hey, do this thing or you don't pay? Who's seen those ads? Like, how many ads of those have you seen? I see like at least like 5 of them a day, right? Do this thing or like, generate $1 billion in like 10 days or you don't pay. Like, don't lead with your guarantee. What type of people do you think that attracts?
I saw $100,000 in 15 days, complete done for you system. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, we'll build your business for you. We'll cash flow. We'll make you 30K a month, and then or you don't pay. It's like, why do you need me? So like, don't lead with your guarantee. That shouldn't be your main marketing promise. That's not the offer. Okay, the guarantee is a risk reversal. That's how you take risk off the table. But you don't want it to be the core focus of your offer. They should be committed to getting the result. That's the focus. So whatever your plan is, like that should be I want that plan, right? That's what I want. The risk reversal is just there to make it easier to say yes. So I know it's probably because Hormozi made it popular. I can't remember if it was him that started that whole or you don't pay thing, but it's pretty cringy. Like that it already makes me think when I see the ad, like, why do you have to lead with you don't pay? Like, are you saying like a lot of people don't get the result? Is that why? Like it already creates objections in my mind. And I know a few people that run those types of offers and they get like a lot of refund requests and just like shitty customers. So don't lead with your guarantee. The risk reversal is there to take away the risk of buying. It's not there to like force them. It shouldn't be the reason why someone buys. Okay, does that make sense? All right, next is the name. This is something not many people talk about. The name is I try to come up with things that are clear and sexy, and I've been told I'm pretty good at names. So this is my formula, right? Is it clear and sexy? First thing, is it super clear? When someone reads it, is there a clear benefit? Okay. When someone reads your title, the name of your product, the name of your offer, is there a clear benefit? And does it excite them? Right? Does it get them to say like, ooh, what's that? That's sexy, right? There was a guy who reached out like a few months ago and he was like trying to pitch me. And I was just playing along with it because I had a few whiskeys at the time and I was, kind of tipsy. It was something about like he helps like soul-centered entrepreneurs to do something, and like he named it like the soul something accelerator. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Just like the soul-centered accelerator or something like that. And I was like, I have no idea what this is, right? And I'm not even excited. It just sounds really weird. So come up with something that's not just clear but sexy, right? Clear benefit. This is bonus points. You don't have to do this, but I do this. Alliteration, if possible, because it just rolls off the tongue a lot more. Alliteration is just like when you use like the same first letters like this. Okay. So some examples, 1 hour offers. That's this one, right? Very clear. I'd like to think that's pretty sexy. Ooh, create offers, 1 hour offers create an offer in 1 hour. That's pretty cool, right? Email Rainmaker. I have Rainmaker in a lot of my branding and it's very clear, right? People, even if they don't know the exact definition of Rainmaker, they have some kind of idea. Compound Creator. This is my social media content program. This one, I see a few familiar faces. This was a live workshop I did, Press, Send, and Profit. This is semi-alliteration, I guess, because the first and last words, P and P. And then Cash Windfall Campaigns. This is like a collection of my email and social media campaigns, 8 of them. So the name, clear and sexy, clear and sexy. Just remember that. Alliteration if you can. You want someone to read it and hear the benefit, and you kind of want them to react to it like, oh, that's cool, right? And if you do this right, it becomes a marketing tool for you, because some of my products, like I have another product called the Super Fast Sales Email Challenge, right? And it sells really well, but the name is kind of a mouthful. It does have like the clear and sexy in it, but it's kind of a mouthful. But like 1 hour offers, right? Or Email Rainmaker, people always refer to me like, oh, this guy's like the email rainmaker, right? And they talk to their friends or like, hey, you should check out Sean's stuff because he has his email rainmaker thing. So it's easy to talk about, like if people want to share it with other people. So it becomes this little, I don't know, this marketing channel for you. All right, so that's the name. Next is delivery. So this is just how it's delivered. And it's like further down the list because it doesn't matter as much, but this is dependent on the offer type. So you have free, low to mid, and high ticket. Now, there are many more different types of deliveries for the offers than what I have here. This is just what I use most commonly. And so that's what I'm listing out here and what I found to work best. So for free, you have ebooks, ultimate guides, and then email courses or email challenges. Okay, so I have something, if you go to nosalescalls.com, like this is obviously a book, but this actually started off as a sales letter or like a guide. This is my book here. And then I hired a designer and put like a cover on it. And this became a free offer that I'm running paid traffic to. So that's an ebook, an ultimate guide. And then I also, if you go to seananthony.co, my main site, and you opt in, there's an email course. It's called the 1K a day offer buffet. It takes you through like the business model that I use. So that's free offers. That's the delivery for free offers. Low to mid ticket offers. I like to do these more recently this year. I've really enjoyed doing these Zoom workshops, like live Zoom workshops, because they're fun to do and I get to interact with people and like get live feedback as I'm going through things. So live 1 to 4 day Zoom workshops, tools, templates, campaigns, and assets. That's what this is. It's just a collection of my different templates and campaigns and email assets. And then you could also do like self-study courses. And this could be like email, it could be written, it could be video. It doesn't really matter. I kind of do all of them. And yeah, that's low to mid ticket delivery methods. And then high ticket, you could do one-on-one done with you. That's like one-on-one coaching or consulting. You could do one-on-one done for you, which is like a service, or you could do a hybrid. So I do hybrid deals where I do a little bit of done for you, and then I also do done with you. So I'll have clients that are paying in the 5-figure range that I'll help them write or promote some of their offers and write their campaigns, but I'm also taking them through a protocol so they can do it themselves. So that's a hybrid offer. One-to-many group coaching, consulting, and mastermind. So I have the Email Rainmaker Mastermind. This is like a new thing that I just put together. And that's an example of a one-to-many group thing. You could also do in-person events as a delivery method. And like in-person is great. I've been to a lot of events. I've never hosted any yet, but I actually do want to host one in the next year. They're really good to connect with people, and like the conversion rate from someone coming to your thing in person and continuing on with you is really high because they've spent time with you and they've met you in person. So these are a few delivery methods, how your offer is delivered, depending on like your price point. This is most commonly what I do and like what most of my offers fall into, like the buckets. So if you have any questions, pop it in the chat, but should be pretty straightforward here. Now, features, what do they get? So this is things like, hey, you get 1 to 2 calls a week. You get a private group, you get a course. If it's like a book, hey, you get a 110-page book, or you get this like 8 modules or 8 weeks of courses of the course. Now, the problem is this is what people usually lead with in their offer. Like the offer is you get 1 to 2 calls a week in a private group and a course. It's like, no, that's not the offer, right? What they really want is the plan and the outcome of that plan. So the features here, it's good to just list it out because you will put it somewhere like on your sales page or when people ask. But this isn't your offer. Like, remember that. This is not meant to really sell people unless you have a really loyal fan base. But these are just the features of like what they get when they open the box. What you want to do is next to each feature, I actually did this in ChatGPT and it was pretty good. I actually used some of it. So you can like list out the features and like list out like the context of your offer and your program and just play around with it. I was doing this all day yesterday. And just say, hey, give me like, what are the benefits of getting like a course around this, right? Or 1 to 2 calls a week around this. And it gave me some pretty good stuff. But an example of a benefit, you're going to list it like benefits out for each feature, but like an example of a benefit for a course would be like, In my case, right, it's for one of my offers. You'll get a structured protocol on launching your profitable offer buffet. Like that's the benefit, right? Launching your own profitable offer stack. So you do this, you list out your features, you list out the benefits for every feature. That's more so like what you'll use in your sales argument. Is what is the benefit of each of these features? Hey, you're going to get a course, an 8-week course, which is a structured protocol on exactly how to launch your offer buffet. That could be like a bullet, right? And one more thing you do here is objections. So not focus, but list out the things or reasons why somebody wouldn't buy. And you want to gather, you can use ChatGPT for this as well to help you kickstart things, right? What I used to say yesterday was, here's my offer, ChatGPT. Now pretend you're this niche. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rate my offer and how likely you are to buy it. And it would rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. And then it would tell me what to improve, right? It would also tell me objections like, well, I wouldn't buy it because of this, this, and this. And so you can use that as like your starting board. But what you really want are live conversations from like people who, let's say you gave them the offer and they said no, like why? What was the objection? Or what questions that they asked that seemed like was stopping them from buying? And you list those things out. And you're going to use this in your content, but you also use this like in your offer docs as well. So this is like a long form offer doc. And you can see here, I just have a Q&A section. And whenever I get a question that comes up a lot, I'll just list it here and I'll answer it. And so if someone's going through here and these are all objections, right? The Q&A section is objections. What if I already have an offer? That's an objection. It's like, well, I can't do this because I already have an offer. Like, why would I go through an offer creation thing? Right. Yeah, so all these questions come from conversations, and then I just answer it to bust the objection. And every objection you bust ahead of time is just like bringing their guard down so they don't have any more objections. Okay, does that make sense? So these are the offer elements. I know that was a lot. We're going to talk about putting it together at the end. I just have like a list, and you would basically list this out. But think of this like the puzzle pieces, right? To assemble like a really pretty puzzle. And this is what I do whenever I'm creating a new offer. I just list these things out, and I've simplified this over time, right? It used to be like a doc with like 4 or 5 pages and a bunch of questions. And I realized I wasn't really using all the questions. Like there's only a few things that mattered. And this is it here. These are the elements, right? So if you have any questions about this, pop them in the chat. Actually, let's just go through them right now real quick. And then while I'm on it. Got some Swifties here. Positioning, slimming, black. Yep. No, I don't want to be like Layla. We'll see. Yep. Okay, no question. Yes, you guys are going to get these docs. I just have to edit here's the training I did. You can see it's 59 minutes. I got to cut this up, and I'll send all the docs over to you. Are you guys finding this useful so far? Only one person saying 3 times. Okay, so let's go to the next part of this, right? The gimme scale. The gimme scale. How many of you have seen this meme before? I saw this a lot on Twitter and Instagram. I thought it was funny because this is actually how offers work. Now, this used to be my offer to my wife. She wasn't my wife at the time, but in college, I was in a fraternity, so I used to get pretty rowdy. And this used to be my offer, right? Hey, I had to get drunk and you help me get home if I need your help, okay? Not a very good offer, right? It probably led to a few fights and arguments over time, but I was in college, so whatever. But like, this is the way you think about your offer. Remember what I said about price, right? You get whatever you're charging for your thing, and then they get something that's worth more than what they're paying you. It's as simple as that, right? An offer is you saying, you give me this price and I'll give you the outcome of your offer. And the outcome needs to be of more value than what they are giving you in terms of money. That's how you get easy yes offers out, right? Banger offers. So how do we do this? This is another thing I learned from Travis. Brilliant guy, by the way. You guys should all follow him, Travis Sago. I think he's most active on Facebook. But he has this tool called Timer. And Timer, he uses this in the sense of like objections, but you can also use it in the sense of the gimme scale, which I'm showing you here, right? How do you get them to say, give me that? So the more you can say yes to these things, the more likely you're going to get them to say, give me that, right? The higher your gimme score is. So Timer stands for time, identity, money, energy, and reputation. So time, can it be done quickly? The quicker it can be done, the higher your gimme score, right? No one wants to wait 5 years when they can get it done in 5 weeks or, 5 days even. So time is, can it be done quickly or as quickly as possible, right? 1 hour offers. If it was called 1 year offers, would you have been as likely to sign up? Probably not, right? So 1 hour offers, if you can condense that time and make it quicker to get the result, then like that increases your gimme score. Identity, does it make them feel better or view themselves in a different light or in a better light, right? Does it make them feel more confident about something or make them feel better about a certain part of their body or like their, their intelligence or something, right? So the way identity is the way they look at themselves. And if you make them feel better or view themselves in a better light, increase the gimme score, right? Money, does it save or make them more money than it costs? Like very self-explanatory here, right? Money. If they give you $1, you give them 2 back, gimme score goes up. Energy, does it help them conserve energy? So one of the things that I help people do is I help them sell expensive stuff through email and chat and not needing sales calls. Like that saves a lot of energy, right? Conserves a lot of energy. There's so much energy that goes into talking to cold prospects and people that don't want to be pitched. They just jumped on a call just to kind of, look around. So yeah, that saves energy in that case, right? Increase the gimme score. And then you have reputation. So reputation is the way other people, like the way they're perceived to other people, right? Status. Does it make them look good to other people or increase their status? There are extremely luxury brands that sell only in reputation, right? Like Rolex and like all the luxury watch brands that sell for like 50, 100, 200, 500,000 plus, right? So when you're running your offer, once you put the offer together with the elements and you're running it through the gimme scale, you want to answer yes to all of these. And if you're not answering yes, then try to figure out a way to make it where it's answering yes to it, right? How can I adjust this offer so it conserves their energy or is done quicker, saves them time, right? Or makes them more money. So yeah, not every offer will hit on every one of these, but if you can find a way to position it so it does, and that's the beautiful thing about offers, right? If you do it first, if you're creating the offer before the product, and those are not the same, by the way, right? If you create the offer before the product, you can improve on all these things and make it better. Now, also, just remember this, have you removed the risk and have you provided proof? Because anyone can make a claim and just like say anything they want and then like run it through this and like shoot their gimme score through the roof, but they got to back it up, right? Remove the risk and provide proof of your claim. Like, hey, here's some proof that it saved time or made somebody money or made them feel better or viewed themselves in a different light, right? So the more you can answer yes to these questions, the higher your gimme score. And if you can answer yes to all of them, then you have a gimme that offer, right? Okay. All right, moving on. We have selling info versus transformation. How many of you sell something in like the $5 to $500 range? Yeah, so give me a 1 if you sell something from $5 to 500, and then give me a 2 if you sell something from like, let's just say 1K, just say 1K plus. Right, okay. Yeah, so we got some people selling both, right? So there's a difference. There's a difference. It's a subtle difference, but it'll make a big difference in your sales if you learn this, okay? So info, I just consider info like let's just say $500 or less. I mean, it could even go up to like $1,000 or even $3,000. I've seen $3,000 info products depending on like what industry you're in, right? Frank Kern sells $3,000 info products. What is that, Jake? Sean's Fathom note taker. It still says recording, so I don't know. Let me make sure here. I'll record this to my computer as well.
This meeting is being
There we go.
recorded.
Okay. So info. When you're selling info, you're appealing to a consumer, or you're appealing more to a consumer mindset versus an implementer. That's not to say that like a transformational buyer won't also buy info, right? I buy a lot of info products, but I'm not there to get a transformation. Okay. So when you're selling info, you're appealing more to a consumer versus an implementer. And so you're playing more on entertainment and excitement. The way that I buy info products is I see something with a cool hook, like how to do this or the secret behind this. I'm like, ooh, that's cool. Like, let's buy that. Let's check it out, right? So you're appealing more to entertainment, excitement, and curiosity. And the messaging for that is like how to, or discover this, or the secret to doing this. Okay. I'm sure everyone's seen that type of copy before, right? Like the how-to bullets and stuff, right? That's info. So what you're trying to do here is trigger their dopamine receptors, so they pull the trigger, right? There's a lot of impulse buyers with info types of hooks, right? I've had people who will buy my info products and 5 minutes later ask for a refund. Like it's happened because they're just like impulse buyers because of like the curiosity, right? And once they get in, they're like, oh, I don't want this, right? So info, it's a lot different messaging. When you're selling to a transformation buyer, this is like the higher ticket thing, the higher end of the market. And also like typically you're spending some time with them. Okay. So as like a client. So you're appealing to the higher end of the market. And these are the people who are sick of consuming and they want to get it done. They're sick of consuming. They want to get it done. So your messaging is more about getting something done. And you're making it clear that implementation is the goal, not info. Okay, this is a big mistake. So info, how to write an email that sells. That's an info style messaging, right? Or a bullet. Transformation, we're going to send a money-making email every day for 30 days. Does that make sense, guys? The difference? This is for a high-ticket buyer, the transformation. It's a small difference, but the distinction here is important. So the mistake I see is people trying to use info messaging, like how to do this, or the secret to this, or the discovery around this, to get a transformation buyer. I want some head nods. Like, does this make sense to everybody? Because if you're selling high ticket, like everyone here who put two, your language should be more around like what we're getting done together, not what you're going to teach or learn them. This is also how I sell really expensive stuff without the phone, because I focus on what we're getting done together. If you have a transformation buyer and you're chatting with them, for example, and they're asking questions about the offer, and you say, well, I'm going to teach you how to send a money-making email every day for 30 days. You have now killed the sale. If they're like a serious transformation buyer, right? That's why this is important. So selling info versus transformation, it matters in your offers. Yes, it's not a big change. It's just like everything that you say should be focused around what are we getting done? Okay.
You said info or transformation was focused on the implementation, where info is more on the information gathering or understanding.
Correct. Yeah. Or it's just curiosity, right? Like people buy info products, like 99%, not 99%, let's just say 90% of them, info buyers. They're buying because they want to be entertained, or they're excited by the hook, or they're just curious about it. Right? Okay. So let's talk about offer validation and launching. And I put together a step-by-step process for you. And then I also gave you like the emails that I used for this launch, so you can kind of see a demonstration of it. So validation, this is going to be a lot hard. Like if you don't have these lists, like you're just going to have to knock on cold doors. Like do cold outreach and like start to get your first clients and case studies that way. So this is like if you already have some kind of database, a lead database, customer, clients, whatever. So I just went through this process for my 1-hour offers training, for this training, and also my email Rainmaker Mastermind. So I see a few of you here in the mastermind. how did you guys get here, right? Like you were on one of my previous trainings and I put out an invitation and boom, like it was an easy invitation to the next thing, right? That's how I launched the mastermind. It now has 18 people or 17, including me, right? So this is the same process that I use. I haven't even really done like a public promo around it yet. I've sent out a few posts, but I was following this process here. So step one, you make a list in this order. List out your best clients, then your customers, and your leads. The difference between customers and clients, like customers are just people who have bought your products, but you haven't like actually engaged with them in like some environment, like a group call or program or whatever, or one-on-one. Leads are people who have just given you their contact information in exchange for like some kind of freebie, and they're on your list or in your audience. So list it out in this order: best clients, customers, leads. Then you reach out with a personal message telling them about your new offer. So you should be having conversations, like actual conversations. Like don't be afraid to get on the phone if you need to, just to get a feel for your messaging and offer elements. So you've assembled your offer, you've run it through the Gimme Scale. You're now like testing your offer, right? You're sending out like, here's my plan, right? So you may need to rework your offer based on feedback. It's pretty common, right? Not every offer is going to be a home run that first time. So like, here's an example message you can use. And I use something very similar to this, right? Hey, Sean, I'm putting together a new, whatever your delivery thing is for this specific person around this plan, right? You are this type of person, so I thought you might be a fit. Would you be interested in something like that? I call this the steakhouse invite. And the reason I call it that is imagine you're inviting like a friend or family member to a steak dinner. Like, how would you say it? For me, I'd probably just say, hey, hey, Sean, or let's see, hey, John, I'm going to the steakhouse downtown around 7 p.m. tonight. I heard they have a really killer tomahawk ribeye. They got 5 stars on Yelp. I've never been, but I'm gonna check it out. You want to join me for some steak? Like that's how casual it is, right? So you reach out to your best clients and you don't need like a long sales page to get someone who's already worked with you to take you up on your offer. Okay. Now, does that mean everyone's going to convert? No, not necessarily, right? But you're offer testing, you're validating. So if you've reached out to your best fits and no one bit on the offer, you have to figure out why. So like, if you reach out to a person who's a perfect fit for the offer and they say no, that means your offer isn't good. I mean, even more so if they've worked with you before. So you got to change it. So figure out why. So like a simple question that I ask is, okay, got it, John. You don't want to join me for steak. May I ask you why? Like, what would have made this more appealing? Now, John might come back and be like, well, actually, dude, I'm a vegan. Like, I don't like steak. It's like, oh, that's why. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So maybe I got to create an offer for vegans, right? So you get really good feedback just by asking the question. If someone tells you no, just ask them why. Like, okay, what would have made this more appealing, right? Now, if you got your first few sales from your best fits, then you can go and start talking about it publicly via email and social media. And then you can run like a 7 to 10 day promo where you talk only about that offer. Okay. So it gets a lot easier to do this once you start building an audience. And this is why I think like publishing and like sending an email and growing your personal brand and audience is important, because then you have a pool of people to sell to ongoing and have a conversation with, right? And then what you do is you create the product once you've filled out your launch spots. So I like to run things live or have some kind of live component. Like right now, the reason I added this call was, number one, I want to go over this live with all of you guys, but I also want to get feedback. So I'm looking at the chat right now and I'm getting a lot of good feedback on certain things that I should change or like expand on or like take notes on, like it was like an insight for people. So I can get live offer feedback and I can make it better. So this is my offer validation and launch steps. Simple. This is exactly what I did for these recent 2 offers that I have. And yeah, this is an example launch. So if you click on these, it'll take you to the emails. This is the step 4, right? I got my first few sales just from people who I just reached out to directly. They bought it and I was like, sweet, let's run it. And I did a 7 to 10 day promo, 13 emails. I think there was 3 or 4 on the last day. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it was like about a week, right? A little over a week. And so you can see all the emails if you just click on this, and this is me going through the process. If you also want to see me doing this live, you're on my email list. You can watch there, or just follow me on LinkedIn. Okay. Oh, right here. Godfather offers. Who's watched The Godfather or knows that line, right? Give them an offer they can't refuse. Don Vito. So I think I have it in stock actually. Yeah, right. This scene. Some of you might know it. So this is what you want to do with your offers. And this question has helped me build some stupid profitable offers. So I learned this from Dean Jackson, another one of I consider him a mentor, and I've learned a ton from him. And he has a version of this question. He calls it the clarifying question. And I tweaked it a little bit, but the essence is the same. So the question is, if I could only get paid after I get results, who would this offer be for, and what would it do for them? This single sentence will help you to laser target like your perfect client and like the perfect thing or like plan of what you're going to do for them. Okay, so this here was built on that question, right? Well, if I'm going to get paid after, I was getting paid after the result, right? It's a rev share offer. I would work with 7-figure businesses who have a high ticket offer in this price range. And I would help them by monetizing their existing customer and lead database, right? So that's basically what this is going into their email database and helping them enroll more clients. Okay. And I even have more qualifiers here. They need to have these criteria here. So this question will help if you're struggling with like getting specific on, well, I don't know what my offer should be for, what it should be. Like ask yourself this question and then add a layer to it. So imagine you have a gun to your head and you had to get a result. Then you ask yourself this question and answer it. Like if you had a gun to your head and like you thought about all your skills and like all the markets or people you could help, and you're like, I have to get a result or I'm going to die. And it's kind of graphic, right? But that will force you to think about like, okay, this is the perfect client. They need to have this, this, and this, and here's what I would be doing for them. Magic happens because you're forced to think. And this is really important for high ticket, especially. Okay. So for high ticket or like done for you services and stuff, this is really important. So this is how you create Godfather offers that people can't refuse, because you ask yourself this question and it's like you're removing risk off the table. You don't have to get paid after you get results. This is just a good question to ask to get you in that mindset. All right. So I think the last thing here is offer mistakes. Offer mistakes. And by the way, if you guys have questions, keep popping them in. I'm not looking at the chat right now. So if your offer is falling flat, here are some very common mistakes that will kill your success, whether it's a new offer or an existing offer. And if you have an existing offer that's not doing well, like this is how you can fix it. So some of these are like all mistakes that I've personally made, and I've had to learn from them and like use it for other offers. So number one is targeting too broad of a market. And the solution for that is call out to one specific person. So use the Godfather offer question, right? You can always expand later, but the broader your messaging is, the less it calls out to your ideal person and the harder it's going to be to get sales. So you do want to be like laser targeted. Like all the biggest companies, like Facebook, for example, I think it started only at Harvard, right? Only Harvard's Facebook or whatever. It was only in that one college. Then it went to all the other Ivy League colleges. Then it went to like all the colleges in the US, and then everybody started using it, right? So he started with like one segment of the market and then expanded. I think like PayPal and like Tesla and all those companies were the same. So call out to one specific type of person, and you can always expand once you have traction. Mistake two was using info messaging to sell a transformation offer. I see this much more often than people using transformation messaging to try and sell an info offer. So info messaging, like the curiosity messaging to sell a high ticket offer. The solution is you focus on what you're getting done together, not what they're going to learn, what you're going to teach. So just like drill that into your head when you're selling high ticket. What are we getting done together? And what the answer should not be, well, they're going to learn how to do this. It's like, I'm going to help them get this done, or we're going to work together to get this done. Mistake 3 is nothing unique or different about your offer. So the solution, remember the old plan versus the new plan. Figure out what your market is already doing to solve their problem. Find a way to do it differently and then create contrast between what they're doing now and what the way that you're doing it, your new plan. You don't need to be the best. You just need to be different than what they're already doing. Another way to think about this is like, figure out what they're already fed up with. Like, what do they hate doing now that they're doing just to try and get the result? So like sales calls for me, like they think that they have to get on a call with everybody who's interested in a high ticket offer. Like, no, you can actually close some deals through the chats and DMs and email. So yeah, you just need to be different than what they're used to. Mistake 4 is your plan is unclear. So you want to make it super clear where they are now, what you're getting done together, and where they will be once they achieve that thing, once they get that thing done. And you want to be specific and try to create a vision. Remember, like the white shirt and the black shirt, right? If I can't draw it out, like in a scene or like on a piece of paper, it's not specific enough for me. So make it super clear. Your plan should have contrast between like old and new and what you're getting done together and what happens once they get that thing done. Number 5 is selling something nobody wants. So the solution is just find something that's already selling, right? Find a desire that's already in the market and tap into that. So find something that's already selling, address that desire and sell your own version of it. Like, don't try to invent something that's never sold before, because if it's never sold before, there's probably a reason for that, right? Eugene Schwartz explained this best in his Breakthrough Advertising book. Copy can't create desire for a product. It can only take the hopes, dreams, fears, and desires that already exist in the hearts of millions of people and focus those already existing desires onto a particular product. This is the copywriter's task. In your case, like, you don't have to be a copywriter. This is for like selling offers, right? Not to create this mass desire, but to channel it and direct it. So you're finding something, a desire in the market that already exists, and channel it into your product, right? So another way to think of it is like, find something that's already selling, create your own version. Mistake 6 is charging a price that is not justified by the value. I see a lot of people who give the advice on social media, like, hey, you should raise your prices. Well, it's like, well, if you want to charge a high price, you need to justify it. You can't just raise your price and put a sticker on it with a like whatever price you want just because you feel like it, or you feel like you're not getting paid enough. If you want to charge a higher price, make sure you run the value equation first, right? Are they getting a 2 to 10x lifetime value return on whatever you're charging them? Justify the value. Explain how it's worth what you're charging. Make a sales argument, right? The customer should always receive more value than what they paid you. Mistake 7 is making your offer promise too big. Don't overpromise. Don't try to solve every problem in one offer. You can always create another offer for the next challenge. And if you want a happy customer, you help them get a win with one thing, and then you invite them to the next. Every offer creates new problems, no matter what it is. There's never one thing that solves every problem in the world. So make your offer promise smaller and doable. Mistake 8, not giving them a reason to act now. So read the incentive section and offer elements. People don't move until they have a deadline. And then mistake 9 is not giving proof, making a claim without proof. So I've seen a lot of trust me real marketing, especially in recent times. A lot of like young kids and like those ads that just really annoying ads. If you want someone to buy, make sure you have proof of your claim, and you can see the proof in the offer elements. Okay. Let's open it up to some questions here. And then we'll go into some example offers. Like, these are some of my Google Docs that they've all done very well. And then I have the 1 hour offers one. This isn't a Google Doc, but I feel it was useful to just add the one that sold spots for this. Jake. Wait, let's move up here. So John, nosalescalls.com to press on and profit email. Yes. Yes, exactly. So it's an easy, yeah, John here is from my mastermind, but he came from my book, and he went into one of my live workshops. And then from there is like, I sent you like one,
like, let's go.
Like through Messenger. And I was like, yeah, dude, this looks great. Right. So yeah, that's the idea, right? Every offer solves a different challenge. or the next challenge.
Hey, Sean, quick question. Can I ask?
Yeah,
Or-
absolutely.
Yeah, cool. So what I've like, obviously always awesome value. The big thing for me was that information to transformation, right? Because that's a game changer, I think, for all of us, right? Just out of curiosity, have you I put it in the chat before, but have you tested out going to like taking your existing copy, for example, from a landing page, a Google Doc or whatever, or bullet point sets or something, dropped it in the chat GPT and given them a command saying, hey, can you have a look at this and rank this based on info versus transformational, or can
I
you
haven't done
rewrite
that.
this for me? Because I
That's
think
actually a great
that'd
idea.
just be really interesting, hey?
Yeah,
Like,
that's actually a great
yeah.
idea. So I was actually playing with it yesterday, and I was just saying like, hey, so here's my offer, like here's the price point, here's who it's for. Here's like some of the copy that I'm using to sell it. Like, can you rate pretend you're that person, that my niche, and rate it like how likely you are to buy it. But you could easily switch that out and make the copy that you put in there like the information or transformation, like, and see what it says.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. Like just to
Yeah.
shortcut that curve, right? Like you're always going to review it and make it your own. But
Yeah.
it'd be cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
That's a great idea. Jake, from your experience, how much of the Gimme score has been influenced by the LifeForce 8 cash advertising? The Gimme score, like the timer stuff, this was from, I first heard it explained by Travis Sago.
Oh, okay.
Timer?
Yeah.
Where is it? Yeah. I think that's what you're referring to. Yeah, this stuff here. So this is from Travis. Cash advertising is great too. But this is from Travis, the timer aspect.
Gotcha. Okay. But all those elements have to be met, or at least you want to get as close as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Those are like the core LifeForce 8, right? The core human.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Abe, yes, you guys can. I got to clean a few things up and add some links, so I'll be sending it out like later tonight. Eddie, what do I consider high ticket? Let's just say it's like 3K plus. I mean, to me, that's not really high ticket, but like we'll just say that we'll consider that high ticket for this training, because it depends on your market too, right? If you're in like the diet space or like the health space, even like $500 could be high ticket. I have a client who sells like diet and fitness plans. She does it through Instagram, and she had a $500 offer, and she used to get on sales calls for all of her customers. I was like, oh gosh, that's rough, right? She used to get on like 200 sales calls when she was running a promo. And then we just ran a promo, just running stories straight to like a doc and like an offer, and she cleaned up. She did well, not a single call. So yeah, high ticket depends on the industry, but it's also like a mindset thing. Some people will look at $1,000 thing and be like, oh, that's super high ticket, right? But once you start playing in the realm of the highest offer I've sold so far without a phone call is 50,000. I think I can go higher though. Like that's just the highest offer I've dealt with without the phone. Ricardo, I currently only have one high ticket offer. How do I create smaller offers to complete the buffet without cannibalizing the high ticket? Well, and that's a bigger conversation. That's actually what we talk about in the mastermind, is building up the buffet. But one way to think about it is what I've been saying through this training is you don't have to solve every problem in one offer. Right? Where is it? Think smaller and doable. So I just had a Zoom workshop called Press, Send, and Profit. And that was just about my helping people implement my system for writing one email a day. That's just one thing, right? What are some problems? Like somebody give me in the chat. What is some problems that people are going to have once they start emailing one time a day? Like it's gonna help with things, right? But what kind of problems do people have? Like name me just one thing.
Coming up with stories to tell.
Yeah, right there. Like just coming. What do I say in my emails, right? Like what do I say if I'm emailing every day? I have to have something to say every day, right? Content, exactly. Coming up with ideas. Yeah. How do I segment my list? Exactly. How do I get more on my list? Stories. What if I don't feel like writing today? Motivation. Yep. What do I offer today? So yeah, can you guys see what I'm saying there? Like every offer solves one problem and creates like 10 new problems. And it's not like you're doing something mean. That's just the way the world works.
So
You're never going to stop having problems, right? Like there's just always different problems.
has your method been, when it comes to your higher ticket products, your lower ticket ones or your free offers kind of hint on those preliminary problems or frustrations we're feeling, and then you kind of just are building them up to the big thing that, hey, let's solve all of those with your a medium ticket product and then higher ticket product. Well, you solve that one. We'll look at all these other ones now. So kind of that
Kind of, yeah.
type concept.
Yeah, but I also just try to think about like let's just take this training, right? 1 hour offers. I have some of my mastermind people here because this is actually our we have a weekly call, but we also have a like 1 monthly training call, right? And I had the idea because I was already creating like other separate Zoom trainings. I was like, why don't I just make these monthly calls like badass trainings around a certain topic, right? And then I can sell tickets to this. And if anyone wants to stay in the mastermind, like, and they enjoy the training and they want help on the next thing, it's an easy invitation, right? This training is only about 1 hour offers. I'm not talking about email. I'm not talking about creating, 10 different offers. I'm not even talking about creating an entire buffet. I'm just talking about the process for putting and assembling an offer. That's one problem, right? How do I go and sell this now? What about paid ads? How do I build the funnel behind this? Like those are all different problems, right? So Ricardo, like to answer your question, how do you create smaller offers? Well, first I like to get the main offer converting. And then I ask myself, like, what are like some breadcrumbs that I can put out there, or some little appetizers that would get people hungry for my main thing that solves one problem, but their next problem is going to lead into like the next offer that I have, right? So I had something called Email Side Hustle, which is one of the docs you'll see here on this below here. It was a program I had for a couple of years, and it was about getting paid to write emails for clients as like a side hustle. And the appetizer, some of you might have this, was called Super Fast Sales Email Challenge, and that was just about how to write your first offer, or how to write your first email. And if someone writes their first email, the next challenge is, well, I want to write a lot of emails, and then the next challenge after that is, I want to get paid to write emails, right? So you can see like one thing leads to the next. So how do you create smaller offers? You figure out what the first problem is that would lead into the next one. Yeah, okay, there we go. Tori, so you saw that firsthand. Yes. Yeah, good questions. By the way, like I want to answer questions while I can here. So if you have any more, keep asking. I can cover these if you guys want, but there's a separate video in the training where I go over this. So like these are just some docs. You'll get this. Oh, yeah, one more thing. How do you put this together? So to consider this your offer creation tool, right? Your offer assembly tool. The way that I create 1 hour offers is I think about these things, and this kind of comes naturally to me now because like this year alone, I've created probably over a dozen offers. And you're basically just listing this out, right? Who's the person? What is the plan? What's the price going to be based on the value? What's the proof that this claim is true, that I can help them do this? What's the incentive? Why should they buy now? What's the risk reversal? What's the name for this thing going to be? What's the delivery method going to be? What are the features, benefits, objections? Does it pass the gimme scale? Did I avoid the mistakes? Did I address info versus transformation? Okay, so you put this together, and like I said, when you're creating multiple offers, this gets quicker because you can borrow from other areas. Tori, this is the most simplified but detailed offer creation checklist I've ever seen. Is that good or is that bad? I can't tell. Let's see. Kevin, the chunking from one problem which creates cascading problems is very cool and new to my thinking. Yes. So another concept that I run my business by is and let me know if you've heard this before, selling your sawdust. Who's heard that concept? selling your sawdust. It means to sell the byproducts of your work. Okay. So I remember hearing this story about like this Kansas, I think it was Kansas City, this Kansas City barbecue company. And they used to have like a very popular barbecue company, like ribs and all that stuff. I might be wrong, right, with some of my details. Like, oh, you'll get the gist. So they used to sell like their barbecue. They'd have a line going out the door, and people would get like antsy and like, you know, like frustrated for waiting. I mean, impatient, right? And so I think one day, I don't remember what year this was, one of the people they used to chop the burnt ends from like the barbecue and toss it in the trash, right? But one day, some worker, I guess, or maybe the owner, had the idea to like pour barbecue sauce in it and just like give the burnt ends out to people online. And it became like one of the most profitable parts of their business, selling the byproducts of your work, right? So they were throwing this shit away like for so long, but then they started selling it. And now like burnt ends are like a huge part of like the barbecue industry. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like that's the selling your sawdust concept, right? Selling the byproducts of your work. So you'll notice everything that I do is like Kevin said, it's like cascading from one thing to the next. So like the work I do with my one-on-one clients and my done for you or hybrid clients, I'll create protocols out of that, right? Like what systems and structures and way of doing things. And I'll deliver that in a group program or a mastermind, like the Email Rainmaker, right? And then I'll take little chunks of those things, like little small things, like 1 hour offers, for example, and I'll sell that as like a little standalone, right? So I'm finding my own burnt ends to sell, if that makes sense. But yes, everything is an offer. Like everything you do that works, you can spin that off into an offer. Okay. Hey, Sean, my biggest challenge today is creating a low ticket offer that can get new buyers on my list daily with ads. From your experience, what is the best type of products for this purpose? I can only speak to what I've done. Like I've done book funnels. That's what's worked for me. I would try to do like course funnels, like selling like a $27 course, not nearly as effective with scaling on like ads. I had a book called 6-Figure Drop Servicing that I was selling. It was about when I had a service business, my model around that. And that sold for like 2 years through YouTube ads. So that was a book with some upsells and downsells. So that was the low ticket offer that worked best for me. I think it's because people understand books and there's like a tangible value because people buy books versus courses. People are like, what is a course, right? Like, what is a course worth? So people understand books. There's like that inherent value. Tom, when you offer revenue share as a payment, how do you verify the client's revenue or non-revenue? Yeah, so I kind of ran it like an affiliate marketing system, except I would plug into their list. So like, for example, I had a client, I got access as an admin to their email backend. And this is what I used to do for my RevShare clients and I would plug into either their Facebook business manager so I could run their chats, or I would create like a Gmail account and I would send emails from their list and send people to either like the Facebook chat page or my Gmail that I set up. And then I would close them through chat. And I would use the link for checkout. It would be an affiliate link. And so when people were buying through my campaigns, they would buy through that affiliate link and the 30% or whatever it was automatically attributed. Jake, workshops and challenges are driving email list growth right now from my data observations. I mean, they all work. I'm running a book. I'm getting $2.20 leads or something.
Was your original book, that drop servicing one, that was a paid $5?
That was a paid book, yes.
Yeah, it was a paid book.
Yep.
Did that have upsells attached to it as well, or is that just
Yep.
the same?
No, it did. Yeah, there's upsells. There's a standard like upsell downsell funnel.
Gotcha. Okay.
Kevin, for book funnels, was a paid book plus free delivery. I have a book coming out late November. I've done both. So I've had paid books and I also do. Oh, you're talking. Oh, no. So the one I was talking about, my book funnel, it was an ebook. So it's delivered electronically. So I didn't ship it to them, if that's what you're asking.
What are your thoughts on that free plus shipping model that is like everywhere for everybody's book?
It works. Yeah, it works.
Depending on how they get them printed. If they're self-published, yes. Um, but then you have to figure out how to fulfill all that and actually have it print on demand or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
So I let people use it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. Mateo, any advice for selling high ticket coaching program 10K per year for realtors? Yeah, go through this training. I know I think you joined late, but like that's not the offer, that's the delivery. The delivery is a high ticket coaching program. Like what's the offer? So you got to go through and assemble the offer elements and the messaging. And yeah, that's what you got to put the offer together. Kevin, Dan Kennedy wasn't wrong about book being best lead magnet. Yeah, that's what I've seen. So like this is my ad campaign. So here we go. Like this is, I haven't scaled it yet because I've been redoing my offers, like the mastermind and all that, but it's been running since May 13th. Oops. $2.25 per lead. And I'm getting like a 19-20x return on the back end from this because someone will join my list. I've had people sign up for one-on-one. I've had people sign up for the mastermind. I've had people who like, I think John, like you came through my book, right? And so like people will go through the book and then they'll sign up for something like higher ticket on the back end.
Yeah, I went bought the Tripwire self-liquidating offer, and then went to press send profit and do the other stuff. Yeah.
So like
it's nice price.
It's a simple flow too, right? I mean, this is like classic, just opt-in funnel.
Well, I think the big thing too, it was all relevant too. You know what I mean? Like it was like it was just it progressed, which was great. It was the one problem. Here's another 10, right? So yeah.
Congruency and like I was saying, right? One problem, you solve that problem, and then like what's the next thing that comes up?
Yeah.
So always looking like a couple steps ahead. Dan Kennedy wasn't wrong about so I think I just read that. Books, again, I think the reason that they do well is because people understand them. When someone sees a book, they already like know in their mind, oh, there's Kindle books, there's audio books, there's physical books, there's the library, like they get it, right? Online courses are fairly new. Like even the internet's kind of new, right? Books have been around since Jesus, right? So like they're not new, like people get books. So I think that's part of it.
Sean, do you reckon like that info transformation again, right? Like, do you think like the courses tend to be how-to, where a book could potentially be transformational? Like, depending, I mean, it's still how-to and all of that, but do you reckon there's a difference there? Or?
I mean, it could, but like, I mean, you'll even notice because I tend to I want to attract transformation buyers, right? Like that's my main goal, right? Like you're an implementer, like you like to get shit done. I love people like you, so this kind of messaging will typically appeal more to those types of people. Like you'll even notice on this is a free offer, right? But I'm still using more like transformational style messaging. It's not like how to enroll. It's like enroll like clients, like get it done basically. It's a very small change, but you'll see it. Like, that's kind of a mix, right? You'll discover a system. So it's a mix between info and transformation, but I do like to kind of layer my stuff with a little bit of what we're getting done together, whether it's information or transformation.
Yeah, I think the best thing about that landing page and why it's so successful, right, is people are going to land on it. They're either going to opt in or opt out. Like that's it. That's you know, you're not interested. See you later. Yeah. Yeah.
This name here. This is very specific, right? This is the name. It's something I didn't cover, but it's a good point. The name of your offer is also like a qualifier if you set it up right. Right. So where is it? The name. It's clear and sexy, but like I want people who are already doing sales calls for this specific one. So if you read this and you're not doing sales calls, it doesn't really appeal to you as much, right? Some people still slip through the cracks, but like, does that make sense? Like the name of your offer can also be like the qualifier of like whoever you're trying to attract. It's a big part of it. And you can get good ideas for like names for offers if you go to Amazon and look at like the books that have the highest reviews and sales.
I think you made your book easy in the consumption aspect of things because I'm seeing a lot of ads out there like what is his name? Brendan Kane, the 1 million followers guy. He has his book funnel. It's like $5 for the book, and then you get into his group course, and he gives you a course slash community thing. But there's a lot to consume. It's a 350 page plus book, plus then I think at least 5 hours of his course thing he gives you. That's a lot to consume. You made yours super straightforward, where I feel like more and more they're going to be cutting out more of the fluff. So we're going to see content become like, oh, here's my new book. Okay, cool. It's 25 pages, but it's 25 pages of pure implementation, action taking gold instead of fluff.
Well, I just want people to be able to consume it quickly.
Yes.
What I said earlier is if you don't consume the first thing, you won't.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're not
it's not impossible, but like you are not as likely to consume the second thing.
Right.
So, Mateo, I'm using for Facebook ads the lead objective. $300 pages of images. Oh no, I think my book, I made the font really big so it's easy to read. I think it came out to like 70 or 80 pages, but you can read it in an hour. So, yeah, I don't think I missed any questions here. Oh, Clint, I missed your question. Is there an optimal page length for book lead magnet? What's too short or too long? I kind of like, let's actually test this. This is one of mine. Let's just see how many words this is, because this is my book, plus or minus like 1,000 words. So like, let's just say 5,000 words or less. Yeah. Again, my goal is just to get them to read it quickly and consume it. I don't want them to like read my life story. Like they don't need that because they don't care. Yes, this doc is the book. I added an intro chapter and like so here's what I did, guys. This is getting like kind of down the rabbit hole here. This was a VSL. So this
year. And what would
I just wrote the doc. It was a piece of content. I used this through cold outreach. I uploaded it to my YouTube channel 7 months ago. So this is back in like March, right? And this led to a one-on-one offer. So I was just launching this one-on-one offer. This is a hybrid offer, right? So I was moving from rev share to hybrid offers where I was getting more of a consulting fee ongoing and I could work one-on-one with people. So what I did was I wrote this piece of content. I filmed the video. I just uploaded it here. Within like 6-7 weeks, I signed up 9 people at 30K into this. And I only talked on the phone with one of them. And part of it's the offer, right? Part of it's also like some people had been following me for a bit of time, but pretty much everybody that signed up, like those 9 people, they had read the doc or like a good portion of it. And it was pretty quick, right? Like it was explaining the plan. This is the plan, right? This is the plan. And these are like the steps in the plan, if that makes sense. And then at the end, I just invite them like, hey, do you like this plan? Let's work on the plan. So, yeah, this worked really well. And so I turned it into a book because it converted and now I'm running ads to it. I've been running ads since May. And now it's converting different, not just my one-on-one, but just it's converting people into my mastermind now, my different workshops.
Did you touch more on the old plan in the beginning of this, or you were just like, hey, here's the new plan and this is what it looks like. Let's go.
I did. So this is for you if you want to do this. Or you're frustrated, you're struggling with this, right? So yeah, this is all old plan stuff right here.
Nice.
Yeah. Also keep in mind this is long because it was meant for a colder audience because I
Right.
ran some ads to it. So yeah. Justin, so you think I'd focus on a high ticket program and get that rolling with maybe one lead magnet to entice them into the funnel and then focus on the smaller offers. Yeah. Here's the thing. I know it's taught in marketing, like internet marketing, like people start with the lead magnet and they build the funnel like upwards, right? The ascension funnel, right? It's very difficult to do that because it's kind of like you're guessing. So if I just start instead with my bullseye offer, where it's like, this is the main thing I want to sell, right? I call it the main course offer. And I can get that validated where people are buying it and it's bringing in the right people. Let's say I sell it to 10 people and they're all the right people, right? So this is an example of like a main course offer, my email rainmaker mastermind, and 17 people joined. And I really, really like the people who are joining. I can now look at like the people who join and be like, okay, what do they all have in common? What did they, because I had called with all of them, right? And they filled out like a form, like a questionnaire, or they asked me questions during our call. And I took notes on those things. And I was like, what do they all have in common that I like? And how can I find more people like them, right? And that when you can list that out, like who your best clients are, it becomes easier to be like, well, now I can put out these little breadcrumbs to attract more people like them. Here's what they cared about, right? Now I can create a smaller offer that addresses that thing. Every one-on-one call I had so far with these members, with the 17 members, was something to do with offers. Like they asked something or like clarity around their offers or something. So part of this training, the 1 hour offers training, came out of that because people were like, well, I just want clarity on like, is this offer good? Is it hitting, right? So that's why I like to start with the high end, the bullseye, because then you can be like, now I got the right people. Let's build a bridge to more of those people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got it. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot.
I've done it the other way, right? Like you start the free offer, then you're like, oh, okay, people are downloading this. What's the low ticket offer? Oh, okay, let's do the high ticket offer. And it's kind of like you're guessing a lot more, and it's harder to sell it. Sharon, if you haven't got a list, have you found that social media works to get clients? Yeah. I've gotten clients, and so I still get clients all the time on social media. I like email just because it's an owned asset. So if I've had my Facebook account deactivated. I had my first LinkedIn account deactivated. I didn't really control that. So like if that happens, you're kind of like shit out of luck. So like that's the thing with social media is it's not an owned asset. It's also very noisy on social. Like people, when you log into Facebook, for example, or like LinkedIn, you're instantly shown like 100 different people, right? When you go into, I guess the same is with your email inbox, but when people see your name in their inbox, like eventually if you built up the bond with them, like they open your email just because they see your name. But social media is a lot noisier and it's easier to get distracted. So yeah, you can sell through social. I would say my strategy is to use social to get people to join my list. Yeah, Clint, Twitter's that's interesting. I actually used to be active on Twitter and I stopped because I didn't like the energy there. And I was getting way more business from LinkedIn. But yeah, I've got a lot of friends on Twitter. Do we have any other questions? I don't think I missed anything. Sick. Cool. Do you guys find this useful, whoever's left? I know it's not pretty, but utility, number one. I want you guys to be able to use this. Awesome. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I got to edit the training here. I'm going to try to send it out all tonight, but if not tomorrow morning, Loom can be kind of finicky. So like the other day I was trying to edit and the audio was out of sync. So I had to spend like 2 hours trying to match it up, which sucked. So it might take a little bit depending on the editing, but I'll try to send it out tonight. And then you're going to get access to a few things. So the recording to this call, you're going to get the pre-recorded product, which is basically the same thing without like all the live Q&A and all that stuff. And then there's also a separate video of me going over the docs, some example offer docs. Where is it? Yeah, these ones here. And then like why they worked. So keep an eye out for that. And then one more thing, just a soft invite, right? We're going to be doing these calls once a month, maybe twice a month if I'm feeling, jazzy. But this is the Email Rainmaker Mastermind. So I'm just going to be like opening up the monthly calls for like tickets for people to join. And if you want to stay, like right now we have 3 founder spots left at the current pricing. At 20, every 20 people we increase the price. But if you want more details about sticking around and what Email Rainmaker is, I can send you a video breakdown. But basically what it is we help you create your entire offer buffet. So your free, your low to mid, and your high ticket offer, and then install the system to sell it. And I like to use email, obviously, right? So everything is going to be like email core focused. I do talk about social media a lot, but it's with the goal in mind of building your email list and building your audience there. So if you're interested in that, just reach out. I can send you like a video breakdown or answer any questions. And if not, we're going to be running these monthly Rainmaker workshops that are like themed around a training, and I'll sell like tickets to that. So if you'd rather just jump on like one training a month, that's totally fine too. But in the group, we just are more like implementation focused, right? Transformation offer, like what I was saying today. Okay. Last question. Abe, Sean, what are the best ways to improve your headline and subheadlines? Oh, that's a big question. Read the book. Here's a really good book everyone should read, and this will help you with your headlines and your leads. But it's called Great Leads, and it's by either Michael Masterson or his real name, Mark Ford. Just type in Great Leads, the book, into Amazon and get that. That will really help you with your headlines and subheadlines. Another thing you can do is go to like those sites, what do you call it? The entertainment sites like National Enquirer and stuff, and look at their headlines because they really do catch attention. Like they know their stuff. And just, take notes, try it on your own stuff. But yeah, that's a big question. Hard to answer in just one call. Yeah. All right, guys, I appreciate everyone here for being here, and I hope this was useful. I'll be in touch with the recording and the resources within the next day. And yeah, Sharon, go to nosalescalls.com and you opt in for it there.